It's been described as the world's favorite pastime, something most people do so naturally that they never stop to think about what it's doing to them. It's called jogging. It consists of picking up one foot and setting it down in front of the other. Simple, right? Not really. Let's take a closer look at what happens. Every step sets off a chain reaction which begins in the foot, where a number of complicated things happen. The shock connects to the ankle. It passes through the bones of the lower leg, tibia and fibula, to the knee, to the thigh, and part of the stress is absorbed here. But some shock certainly affects other parts of the body. No matter how smoothly everything seems to be working, there's an enormous compressive force transmitted up the leg into the body. This happens to the runner about 600 times for every kilometer. An alternation of stress and compression. Heavy compression. Let's examine the basic motion. In running, the foot passes through 5 positions with every stride. Supination, heel strike, pronation mid-stance, metatarsal push-off. All very natural, but very complex. To see just how complex, let's look more closely. Here's what happens in supination. The foot tilts inwards, slightly, just before it touches the ground. Heel strike is just that. In most runners, it occurs on the outside of the heel. It sets up a shock which the foot absorbs by rotating inwards. This movement is called pronation, occurring simultaneously during the mid-stance phase, when the whole weight of the body is on the center of the foot. The weight moves forward until the foot has attained a position to achieve maximum ground friction from metatarsal push-off. That's what happens under ideal conditions, but reality is often a different thing. Even the best jogger must contend with a wide variety of running surfaces, each with its own demands. However, let's look at the average jogger, in average footwear, jogging the average urban jog. If you don't do things right, they can go wrong, painfully wrong. A typical injury is strain or even rupture of the Achilles tendon. This can be brought about by running on hard surfaces, especially when the runner's shoes have inadequate height and support. This means the Achilles tendon has to stretch even further, much like the effect of strain on this rope. Total rupture can occur. Even during normal training, the Achilles tendon is under a stress of 70 kilograms per square centimeter. With excessive training, or with lack of flexibility in the ankle and foot, the stress is intensified. Fortunately, the average jogger doesn't usually push himself that hard. But there's always an incentive to keep jogging. And that usually brings the in-town jogger to a new problem. In case the hardness of most city running surfaces isn't enough of a hazard, most of them aren't even on the level. City streets and sidewalks are tilted, which makes it easier for water to run off, harder for the runner to run on. And running on the roadway is no better. The road camber is the same. A runner on the street or sidewalk is subjecting his feet and legs to some unnatural stresses. These are twofold. Let's look at them in turn. First, the uphill foot is receiving an excessive tilt during the mid-stance phase. This prolonged pronation results in an inward twist or torque to the shin bone, the tibia. This, in its turn, pulls the kneecap off center. Do it once, it doesn't matter. Do it every step on that foot, and you're straining the tibia and the knee 300 times per kilometer. Multiply this by the number of kilometers the average jogger jogs, and you find the strain occurring millions of times a year. The result could be either painful shin splints and/or runner's knee. And that's only half the problem. In addition, not just the uphill foot, but both feet are being planted at an abnormal angle. This condition brings about varus or valgus positions. On the downhill foot, we have a varus position. On the uphill foot, we have a valgus position. Varus or valgus positions can have a detrimental effect on the Achilles tendon. The result can be a variety of conditions painful to put up with, and a handicap to your enjoyment of jogging. The whole subject of strain is very complex. Every athletic activity puts its own special stresses on the powertrain of foot and leg. Different activities create their own specific stresses on the various biomechanics systems. Twists and turns all exert their own demands. Demands that have to be recognized. For the jogger or runner, there is no perfect situation. Each running surface gives rise to its own problems. Some are too hard, causing stress and shock. Some are too soft, causing imbalance and slippage. With all the different conditions under which a runner performs, he needs help. He can't change his environment or his locale, but he can compensate for most of the problems by using good quality athletic footwear. A proper athletic shoe, like this one, is scientifically designed and coordinated to the demands of proper support and comfort for runners. A well-constructed shoe has several major components. For instance, the toe box. Roomy enough to accommodate the toes without squeezing, so there's no discomfort. And it's free of prominent internal stitching. Nothing there to cause blistering or soreness. Secondly, the midsole. It has to be both flexible and shock absorbent. This cushions the foot but allows a normal toe off. Third, an insole to provide vital support for the long arch of the foot. This protects against the flattening pressure of every stride. The heel should have adequate height to protect the Achilles tendon from being overextended. And the heel must be anchored to the shoe by a firm heel counter or cup so it doesn't drift, thereby maintaining alignment. And for runners who worry about the stability of their ankles, a flared heel can provide yet another kind of protection. You put all this together and it spells quality. The last and most important thing to go into the shoe is your foot, so make sure it's perfectly fitted. Here are 4 checkpoints to remember. 1. Remember you'll be wearing it under stress, so lace it up firmly. 2. There should be no tightness or pressure points. 3. You have to be able to wiggle your toes fairly freely while standing. 4. These are running shoes, Run in them a few steps before you make up your mind. You'll find that proper athletic footwear can make your jogging program a runaway success. Once you've discovered what proper athletic shoes can mean to your performance, protect that improvement by following a few simple rules. Buy 2 pairs and alternate them, giving each pair an opportunity to dry out after use. Don't dry your shoes in artificial heat. Room temperature is best. If you're storing your shoes, use proper shoe trees, or failing that, stuff them with paper. Jogging can be a many-splendored thing if you know how it happens, what it demands, and how to compensate for our less than perfect world. Remember the action and the protection that you get from superior athletic footwear with these 5 important features. Roomy toe box with nothing to rub or pinch the toes. Flexible, shock-absorbent midsole for cushioning. Properly formed insole to provide arch support. Strong heel cup and a heel wedge of sufficient height to help protect the Achilles tendon. Optionally, a wide, flared heel to give additional lateral stability. With proper athletic footwear, you can take your sport in your stride.